Welcome, listeners. This is Sanjog Aul, your host, and the topic for conversation is, can Cynet bring simplicity back into security? Organizations are facing a lot of breaches, and they're finding it very difficult and complex to keep the internal environment secure. They are spending a lot of money buying multiple security tools, and their key people are spending time endlessly in firefighting. These organizations are spending a lot of money, time, and energy, but still the number of breaches keep rising. Cynet, a security solutions provider, claims that its autonomous solution can fully replace the multiple security product stack that organizations are using currently, do a much better job to protect their internal environments, and save a lot of time and money in the process. So, what's the basis behind Cynet's claim? Does Cynet truly have a secret recipe for removing silos, human involvement, and technology integration while providing a full visibility into the internal environments? We have invited Netanel Amar, the Chief Operating Officer at Cynet, to learn how is Cynet different from the other competing solution providers and to dig a little deeper to determine if Cynet can truly bring simplicity back into security. Hello, Netanel. Thank you for joining us. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
So, Nathaniel, just to set the stage, how about sharing your views about the current state of enterprise security, the problems enterprises are facing, and where does Cynet fit in as a solution?
So basically what we are seeing is that we got into a diminishing return point for investment in cybersecurity, meaning that organizations are buying more and more security technologies, but they're also trying to hire more people that are not really there. They're trying to integrate more and more products in the same place, but that doesn't translate into better or efficient security posture. At the same time, we are seeing that the number of attacks increasing, the number of breaches increasing year over year. Now, most of our organizations, I will say definitely the small to mid-sized enterprises, doesn't have the expertise or the limitless budget of the Fortune 100 or a very big enterprise has. Now, they are focusing on integration. And we are seeing that the problem is not technology. We are seeing that there is a very good amount of technologies out there, but they cannot provide the value customer need because those different technologies can speak one with the other. This is basically the biggest challenge that we are seeing, which got us into the diminishing return point. Now, what Cynet is doing different is that we are powered by our unique sensor fusion technology, meaning that we are creating very good visibility, can create very good context. And using that sensor fusion capability, we can actually provide and enable an autonomous solution, meaning that we can go from A to Z, fully automated process, which can solve the problem, most of the pains and the challenges for mid-sized enterprise.
So, are there specific organization types that may find Cynet's security management solution most useful? And are there other who may not benefit as much?
So definitely, that's actually a very good question. Initially, when we founded the company, we mostly pursued the largest enterprises. And today we have a very fair amount of global 2000 size customers across all main verticals and geolocation. But what we are seeing more and more is that the biggest demand for our solution is from mid-sized enterprise. I would say from several hundred to thousands, tens of thousands of employees will be more accurate. It's not so much about the size in employee numbers, but rather in the organization cybersecurity maturity. For Fortune 1000 companies, for example, is a code name. They have almost unlimited security resources. They have enough security experts. They have very budget, etc., and they have a lot of time. And it's not the case for the mid-sized enterprise. For them to have a very dedicated, qualified security team and the ability to integrate between different point solutions, they find it very challenging. This is exactly where we came into play.
There are many best-of-breed solutions, Nathaniel, which are available for protecting the internal environments, such as endpoint security, network security, user account security, and SIEM. Why should anyone choose Cynet over the already available options? How is Cynet better?
So here's that we approach this same problem from a different angle. I do believe that there are very good security technologies available today. We are seeing very good advance in this field. If you're seeing perimeter security getting better and better, user behavioral security, network behavioral analytics, etc. The problem is that those technologies are siloed. And because they are siloed, it's very hard to make those different technologies work one with the other. So imagine that you try to integrate and you try to make different technologies speak one with the other when they're not designed to do that. You find it very challenging. What's different in China is that we are creating we built from the ground up a very good visibility engine, meaning that we can provide almost limitless visibility across any type of activity around the organization. Now, on top of that, we can create the context, which is the most important thing. This is the sensor fusion. Sensor fusion allows us to really understand what each activity is doing. And this is what makes Cynet different. This is the different approach or the different angle to the same problem. Because if you have the context, you can have very good accuracy, which can provide very good automation. And on top of that, what we are doing is providing a 24/7 SIOP team that can help the organization where they need human assistance. We're talking about level of engineers, malware analysts, traffic researchers, top-notch technical guy that can really help the organization with incident response or with proactive strategy, for example. So the combination with the technology and the human expertise and the know-how, I think that what makes Cynet different.
So if a company deploys Cynet to secure its internal environment, are you suggesting that we wouldn't need anything else to manage security and protect from breaches? And if your answer is yes, with Cynet being a new entrant, isn't that a tall claim, and wouldn't it sound like a big risk to putting all the eggs in one basket?
So that's a fair question. I think I have a good answer for it. So first, yes, absolutely. Most of the organization will still need more security solution in order to protect the organization. Let's start with perimeter security. You will still need to have a firewall, email relay, anti-spam, etc., all the traditional or type of security. Cynet is not a silver bullet for all the problems in effective security industry, but we are trying to solve basically the biggest headache within the security, which is lack of visibility. And there is also lack of security experts. There are currently more than 3 million security experts required, cannot be higher than the moment. This is going to get worse. Now, what we are doing is to focus into our internal environment. But the internal environment is not necessarily only the regular asset across the organization. It can be only your cloud asset, your user's account, etc., your network traffic, everything around that. So if we'll have the visibility around that, you can see definitely some customers that are saying, this is exactly what I expected different point solution to do, and I can rip and replace them. But some other more mature level type of organization would like to keep some mixture between Cynet and other type of product into the same place. I would say it must be value oriented, meaning that the customer need to choose what provides the highest value for them. And once they are there, they can choose which product to keep and which product to get rid of.
Let's take a quick break, listeners. We'll be right back. And let's talk about the managed security solution providers who not only offer support using humans, but also bring the tools. So what would Cynet's rationale be for suggesting that their solution is a better alternative to going with MSSPs? Please stay tuned, listeners. We'll be right back after these messages.
Security breaches are on the rise, and the attackers simply won't stop. What you need is a very secure internal environment. But do you have the money, time, and people to buy, deploy, and manage multiple solutions for endpoint security, network security, user account security, and SIEM? It's time to think one security platform that gives you total control to save time and money and autonomously protects your internal environment with confidence. Cynet's Autonomous Security Management Platform provides full visibility and autonomously prevents, detects, and responds to all types of attacks in real time. Cynet Autonomous Breach Protection, helping you bring simplicity back into security. To learn more, visit cynet.com. Visit today.
This is CTN Solution Spotlight on CIO Talk Network.
Welcome back. So the question here for you, Netanel, is about managed security solution providers who not only offer support using humans, but also bring the tools. So what's your rationale for suggesting Cynet solution as a better alternative to going with MSSPs?
So I don't think that better alternative is the correct term here. I would phrase it like organizations that have the capacity to manage their security in-house can do so with Cynet better and more efficiently than with any other combination of point solution. However, there is a vast number of organizations that number is rapidly increasing that choose outsource either parts or their security operation. There are various flavors here from their monitoring, end-to-end deployment, ongoing management, also incident response. For this type of organization, it's not a question of is to engage in MSSP, but more of who and how. It brings us to the added value of MSSP fees inside. As I told you earlier in the conversation, the technology is not necessarily the biggest challenge organizations are facing. It's the lack of skills of human resources. It's the lack of the ability to hire the right security expert and the problem with integrating different products. So recruiting and retaining a top quality security team can be easily flagged as the organization's most burning security. Now, MSSPs actually must solve most of these problems for their customers. However, from their point of view, the same challenging for operating this security stack, it's what's helping them to choose Cynet. So from personal point of view, we have very good success with MSSPs worldwide, and we are seeing that once they're using Cynet, they can deliver better service to their customers, they can compete better as well, and they are optimized. We can accelerate their business, we can provide higher value to their customers. And I would say that customers shouldn't mistake the MSSP to be a silver bullet. It's very important when you're choosing technology versus MSSPs or the combination of both to make sure that the right technologies are renewed in order to get the highest security return to your management. So if you're considering going with MSSP, please make sure they're using Cynet type of solution in order to have the highest value out of this engagement. You will have the human expert who will have the technology and will also have the human expert 24/7, which is the CIO service from the Cynet side.
I'm sure companies who have already bought security solutions would like to preserve their investments. So does the Cynet solution require rip and replace, or does it play well with the other already deployed security solutions?
So there are two flavors here. If you're a mature organization with an existing security investment in various products and a security team that efficiently operates them, you probably don't rip and everything and replace Cynet instead. What you would do, and that's a pattern we see among our large enterprise, is to gradually test Cynet capabilities against the one of overlapping point solution you have in place. If it's network traffic analysis, user behavioral analysis, deception, endpoint security, EDR, etc., etc. Then you can see the actual value in production environment and make an informed decision when the other products renewal arise. In many cases, Cynet capabilities along the benefits of one technologies, one platform, and one consolidated console win. Now, the other option is that your security posture is not that mature beyond the basic. Now, in that case, you don't have much to read anyway, maybe except your AV agent or your vulnerability management solution. And then you can definitely use Cynet as one platform that can definitely provide the highest value in the shortest amount of time.
What are the newer type of threats do you see emerging? And how is Cynet evolving its solution to stay ahead?
So I must admit that's one of the most fascinating things, just seeing the continuous evolution of attacks over the introducing new capabilities, evading and bypassing security controls. Now, we've made very good progress over the last 10 years with the level of security control that creates, and by we, not just Cynet, of course, by the entire industry. But what we are seeing is that the attackers are actually using the exact same problem of the organization in order to orchestrate their attacks to be successful. I can also give you some examples from those days with the corona impact worldwide, but I will give you a few. We are seeing more and more attacks that are navigating between the blind spots of different technologies. For example, we saw attackers using YouTube, CNN.com, and other type of very safe and legit type of website as the command and control centers. They are doing that in order to bypass network behavioral analytics type of controls because it's supposed to be a safe website. But at the same time, you're seeing more and more fileless type of threat, memory injections, and other type of advanced type of threats that are designed to bypass endpoint type of security controls. You're seeing other type of malicious activities such credential test or remote login credential by threat actors. And this is how you have a complete type of attack orchestrated, bypassed those different security controls once they are point solution. Now, with our sensor fusion, and both me and my co-founder have a background with offensive security, ethically type of hacking, etc., we saw that this type of orchestrated attack are evolving every year. The attackers are always a few steps and we are behind. Now, you should take in mind that however rapid attack evolution is, it's still evolution that is not a frog leap, meaning that new malware, for example, exploit or fileless attack feature are introduced in the wild gradually, a step at a time. And we are seeing that basically the biggest problem today is that it's very hard to understand if you don't have this type of context. What's the difference between an attack and a noise within your organization? So we are seeing more and more false positive, more and more, let's say, false alarm that creates more and more manual activity. And I think that the accuracy here is the most important thing. So having the ability to have very good visibility and the understanding will allow us to put a very good automation in place. And once we have that, we can definitely see more successful type of blocking those evolving threats than we used to in the past.
So besides contractual guarantees for service quality and the business continuity, what are Cynet's company values and leadership capability that the enterprise leaders can rely on if they choose Cynet for protecting their internal environments?
So we strive to be 100% customer-centric, and we indeed have a very good relationship with our customers. From our perspective, it's more of a partnership than a supplier/consumer relationship. Now, we do our best to be our customer trusted security partners and advisors. And as we said before, we learn and improve our product based on attacks in their production environment. So it's really a symbiosis type of relationship. We'll give them a protection, they will give us feedback back, and we can together improve and will be better and better each and every day that goes by. Now, we designed the technology from the ground up. We are seeing the warning sign. We are seeing that most of the attacks and the blind spot in the organization side from the other angle is something that correlates, and we are trying to solve that. Now, most of the organization have the ability to work very closely with us, but obviously some of the organization doesn't have a very, let's say, qualified team, etc. So we are working very well with the partners, the MSSPs, etc., in order to achieve that. Furthermore, I would say that mostly, even from top to bottom, even Eyal, my co-founder and the partner and the company CEO, We are in daily engagement with most of our customers in order to learn from them and also to support them within difficult times.
Once again, thank you, Nathaniel, for sharing your thoughts and insights on our Solution Spotlight segment.
Thank you very much.
And listeners, I invite you to find related conversations on our website at ciotalknetwork.com.